Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. I, of course, am here with your daily mortgage rate market update. What's going on with mortgage rates and pricing? Yeah, kind of the same thing as yesterday. Not much different. Oh, it's funny. I heard myself coming out of the other speakers because I'm just checking something. So anyway, good morning, y'all. Thank you for joining me. Remember, I do this each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. So glad to have so many of you join me live. If you're here live, say good morning. If you're watching on the replay, go ahead and give me a hashtag replay in the comments. I'm noticing a lot less people watching on the replay. I wonder if I should do something different or if I should just make this kind of a live show. So we'll have to see. Ron Siegel says, today we are celebrating National Cherry Jubilee Day. I'm not even quite sure what Cherry Jubilee is. I have to Google that. Who knows what Cherry's Jubilee Day? Who knows what Cherry's Jubilee is? And who's celebrating? I guess I should take these off because they do actually they make it a lot harder to see what I'm seeing. But then everything's fuzzy now. Getting old sucks, y'all. You know it. You know it. Anyway, if you're here this morning, say good morning. Remember, if you're watching on the replay especially, you could sign up for our reminders. We send out a quick text alert at hmmr.io/reminder, or send you an alert that we're going live each morning, or you can use this cool QR code over here. I'm going to go ahead and say hi to the live folks. Happy hump day, Mr. Randy Teakle, John Melnick, good to see you. Michael Love, Amber Moser, hello. Happy to have you here. Ron Siegel, of course. Good morning, sir. Good to have you here. Mike Brown, Deb Dickinson, Megan Bissell, Monica Dinkins, good morning. What's up, George? What are you doing? You want to say hi to the people? You're a happy boy? Yes, I know you're a good boy. Yes, you're a good boy. I know you're very sweet. Yes. So, George and Sophia are back. Nobody adopted them. How could they not adopt these sweet little things here? So, George is hanging out, right? You hanging out in the office? Show everybody. Take a look. Yeah, there you go. So anyway, all right, good morning, y'all. Let me go ahead and let's flip onto the other screens and we'll talk about what we got going on this morning and all that good, happy stuff. So taking a look here, mortgage bonds currently down about 8 basis points on the day, and not a huge loss, but it basically does kind of, it continues that trend that we talked about where things are continuing to work their way lower here, and which is not anything lovely for sure. If we take a look at the 10-year Treasury yield, it's 4.13. It's kind of just holding steady. You'll see that right over here. 10-year Treasury yield has been holding steady, kind of flat. And I would anticipate that's going to continue this week. Not really much of an expectation to see that change. Mortgage rates and pricing, not really in a spot to change much. This is what we are going to see and where we will be. We may see them creep higher from here if they kind of drift higher ahead of the labor market data, but there's certainly no reason to expect them to move lower. If you take a look, 6.37, 6.35, 6.37, we're back to all those same kinds of things here. Yes, Mr. George. Mr. George wants to be petted over here. Yes, buddy. Yes, I know. You're such a good boy. So anyway, kind of some interesting stuff this morning. I'll show you real quick. Basically, this is just a good article or a good piece of the article. Newly appointed member Stephen Moran said policy remains too tight and made the case for 125 basis points in rate cuts. 125 basis points in rate cuts, really? At the next two FOMC meetings in 2025. While Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic said on Tuesday that the Fed needs to stay on guard against inflation. Kind of more realistic on what is going on here. Fed Chair Jerome Powell, meanwhile, said in a Tuesday speech that the outlooks for the labor market inflation both faced risks and offered no hints on whether he might support a rate cut at the Fed's next meeting. That in and of itself means that he supports a cut because markets are pricing it in, as we've talked about before. If you take a look here, markets are pricing in a 94% expectation of a Fed rate cut. And if Powell wanted to send a message, he would be doing that now, and he's not. So not much to worry about here. This week has just been all about the different Fed speakers and where they're coming out on things. Powell reiterating there's no risk-free path for the Fed amid dual threats. And basically what he's talking about here, and let me move this. Actually, I'm going to just leave it up. Actually, I have my other screen now, so I can let me play with this for a minute. I want to try something. I'm going to move this over like this, and let me go like this. And let's see if I'm close. So basically, taking a look here, Powell reiterating no risk-free path for the Fed. And what he means by that is the outlooks for the labor market and inflation, calling it a challenging situation. Looks like I need to move this over a little bit. Okay. Powell stated that near-term risks to inflation are tilted on the upside, and that's due to the tariffs, but he doesn't see them being a long-term thing. He denied accusations the central bank has acted politically in its policy decisions, saying we're looking at what's the best thing for the people that we serve. I think he is starting to push back against Trump more than in the past, though. And who could blame him after, just all of the drama and everything around there. But I don't think that they're the whole idea that they're like supporting Democrats makes no sense at all and doesn't hold any water to that. So bottom line on all this, here's another one about the other side of the fence. And of course, you guys know how I feel about this guy. We can go ahead and just bring up that happy shot right here. Let me move that over. Right. I mean, here's that guy. We know that Stephen Moran is just he's just Trump's lapdog. I mean, and he's not even a good lapdog. He's just a goof. Anyway, taking a look here, his rate cut arguments don't add up. Even the Wall Street Journal can point that out. He's trying to say that Trump's policies, again, he's got his nose all the way up Trump's bum. He's just trying to say that policy changes with the immigration and with the taxes, and that all of this puts things in a position where the rate could be a lot lower. But nobody agrees with him. I mean, nobody, like not the Fed members, not the economists, nobody, except maybe Trump. So it doesn't really matter on this. By the way, I know, like, I don't want you guys to tell me individually, like, do you support or not support? But lately, I'm going to be digging in on Trump because I don't like the policies. I think he's chaotic, and I think a lot of what he's done doesn't have any lasting substance, but has caused a tremendous amount of upheaval. It's my opinion of his performance. I'm not going to start drowning, taking Tylenol as a pregnant woman because he said whatever he said on the thing. I'm not that much against it. I'm looking at the policies and the effects that they have on things. I don't think the tariffs are a good thing necessarily. I think they create. Come on, George, you can't be up there. I think they create a lot of issues in the long run. So, but as far as all this stuff goes, again, when it comes down to mortgage rates and pricing, we're very much in that same boat, and we're going to stay in the same boat for a while. We're not really too much worried about what's going to happen from here. Things are pretty easy. Ron says the lower risk for the Fed will happen in May. When Powell is gone, for sure. Moran's comments last Friday were contrary to Trump's comments. How does that fit my thesis? It doesn't, but I don't have cognitive dissonance. I'm not going to make it fit. I believe what I believe. If he put out other comments, I'm surprised to hear it, and I'd like to hear more of them. But if he's really that, if this is really just, again, he's got to have some belief in what he's saying. I just think it's way out there, and so does everybody else. More and more commentary coming out to discount my posts about tariffs. Share that with us. I'd like to see it. I mean, definitely let's discuss it, debate it. If the tariffs are a good thing, let's talk about why. I don't think that they achieve what they want to achieve, but that's just my opinion. So, but the effect that they have on mortgage rates, I think it's nominal. It's hard to argue. They are inflationary, and we've seen the inflation already ticking up, and it's kind of cause and effect. We can definitely trace a causality there. So, but anyway, that's what we got going on. I'm not going to overstay my welcome today. There's certainly not a tremendous amount of things that we need to go over. So, rate sheets today going to be about the same as yesterday. Bonds improved a little bit and then kind of lost some ground today. So we're just treading water, which is what we'd expect. Either seeing rates slowly creep up, and we've said very slowly, or kind of just treading water. So these are still great rates, by the way. I mean, we're talking low sixes. When we were in the high sixes, we would have loved low sixes, but we went slightly lower. So now everyone's like, oh, bummer. One thing that I've said before that definitely continues to hold true is this is going to be a year of windows, meaning that we have these little opportunities where rates will dip to their lowest levels and then come back up off of those levels. We've had it happen a few times already. I've been talking about how you want to make sure you keep your prospect pipeline primed so you're ready to make a move on those. Tariffs have pushed Eli Lilly to start manufacturing in the U.S. New comments out today. Cool. And thanks, Randy. Again, if we have Eli Lilly, so that was one positive, and we can talk about all the negatives. That I think that's what it's supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be increasing manufacturing, but you're not going to see iPhones made in the U.S. That's for sure. You're not going to see MacBook Pros made in the U.S. or things like that. So we'll see. When's our next data, Randy? It continues. I mean, Friday we get PCE data, but that's not really going to matter. Tomorrow you got jobless claims, so you'll see a little bit of move to that, but there's really not much move. October 5th is the BLS jobs report. So a few days before that, probably the 2nd or 3rd, you'll see JOLTS, but that won't have as much of an effect as the BLS data. And then later, I think the 12th, the 11th is my son's wedding. So the 12th is a Sunday. So October 15th, maybe. Yeah, October 15th is the CPI inflation data. So we'll get that then. But all right, my friends, I don't have much else to talk. So now I'm just going to be spinning around in circles, and that's boring. So hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody, and make it a great one. Bye-bye.